Welcome back again to Marketing Management MBA course. Lesson number 5 today, customer satisfaction. We did touch on this before and we just started talking about customer satisfaction. I promised I would be back to talk more in detail about it, and that's what we're doing now. Our main questions for discussion: what are customer value, which we've gone on to at some length before, satisfaction, loyalty, and how can companies deliver them? What is the lifetime value of customers and how can marketers maximize it? How can companies attract and retain the right customer and cultivate strong customer relationships? And what are the pros and cons of database marketing? Right, let's get started. We already spoke about this with holistic marketing. What is the purpose of this? It's all encompassing. So holistic marketing, yes, it's to inform, energize, and engage the customer, get them to do something. It's to try and build this goal of customer loyalty. The cornerstone of a well-conceived holistic marketing orientation is strong customer relations. So marketers must connect with customers, informing them, engaging, and maybe even energizing them in the process. Customer-centered companies are adept at building customer relationships, not just for the products. They are skilled in market engineering, not just product engineering. Creating loyal customers is the heart of every business. This is what we're after. So as marketing experts Don Pepper and Martha Rogers say, the only value your customer will ever create is the value that comes from customers. The ones you have now and the ones you will have in the future. Business succeed by getting, keeping, and growing customers. Customers are the only reason you build factories, hire employees, schedule meetings, lay fiber optics, etc. Without customers, you don't have a business. Now, we tend to think of this traditional organization chart with the managers at the top dictating, let's say, to the middle managers, going down to the frontline people and the customers. But a modern customer-orientated organization chart, we'll flip that upside down, and we start with the customers at the top. The frontline people are there then to serve those customers. The middle management help the frontline people do that, and the top management do that. If we consider what a customer's perceived value is, well, obviously there's two things. The customer has to work out what is the benefit to them against what they consider is the cost. Now, we tend to think the cost is something very simplistic. The cost is the price at which we're paying for it. But there's more to it than that, unfortunately. The cost includes, and it's the total customer cost. So it includes everything from evaluating the product, actually finding out about it, evaluating it, seeing if it's good for them, getting it, the price of purchase, using it, so the price of operating it, and then maybe the price of disposal. Which is where things have maybe resale values coming. So this then forms a particular cost to the customer. Then they have to weigh that off against the benefits that they're getting from it, the actual economical benefits, the money that it's producing, the function that it actually does, and what's that worth to them, and then the psychological benefits, maybe brought on by a particular brand or something that is something that they can use and forms part of their benefits. They then develop a value for that against the value that is minus the cost. So what they estimate the total cost of the income is of the benefits minus the cost of actually evaluating, obtaining, using, and disposal. And the difference between the two is the customer's perceived value. So there are fairly different determinants of this. So the customer benefits can be the product, the service, personal benefits, etc., image. The cost, the monetary cost, the time cost, the energy cost, disposal cost, are those that are weighed off against the two. And by comparing these two, the customer gets a perceived value. If we use this as a particular option, we've got here an example. A farmer needing, well, very large bulldozer by the look. The worth to the farmer for what he decides he's going to get out of it is 20,000, and if the cost is 14,000, if the cost to him was 14,000, then the value would be 6,000. However, there would be no profit in it, if we can see in this particular example. If the price then goes up to 20,000, that is the value to the farmer. So there's a profit of 6,000 for the company, but there's no perceived customer value for the customer. So we've got to be somewhere in between. So let's assume in this case is $16,000. So the price is $16,000. Customer value perceived, the worth to the farmer is 20. Therefore, there is a customer value of $44,000, and that's how that's worked. However, we're not always 100% logical in these things. Maybe the fact that the lowest price would win, but that's not necessarily the case. Maybe we'd be looking for something that is cheaper to operate over a longer period. Maybe has a particular friendship with the salesperson, which would give him a preference to buying with another brand. And obviously these are personal reasons to change your particular choice based over and above the actual strict valuation system. So customer loyalty, a deeply held commitment to rebuy or repatronize a preferred product or service in the future, despite situational influences and marketing effects having the potential to cause switching behavior. In other words, you will always buy a Samsung Galaxy regardless of what other products are showing, where they're effectively proving that their products are better. You will still stick with your particular Samsung against Huawei or Apple or etc., despite their efforts to cause your switching to another brand. Value proposition. If we've got an example to make it really clear, the core position, in other words, the main reason why they're focusing on why people buy Volvo is safety. Now, obviously, yes, they have the reputation for that, but they still provide other good benefits, good performance, design, etc. So the value proposition is a promise about the experience customers can expect from the company's market offering and their relationship with the supplier. Whether the promise is kept depends on the company's ability to manage its value delivery system. Now, this value delivery system includes all the experiences the customer may have on the way to purchasing the offering. The heart of a good system is a good set of core benefits, but there will be additional benefits that will also help deliver distinctive customer value. Satisfaction, a person's feeling of pleasure or disappointment that result from comparing a product's perceived performance to or outcome of their expectations. If you consider what customer satisfaction is, well, we have our expectations. If the product comes up to our expectations, then okay, we're satisfied. If it doesn't, we're dissatisfied. If it goes beyond our expectations, we are delighted. So in general, satisfaction is a person's feelings of pleasure or disappointment that results from comparing a product's perceived performance or outcome to the expectations. The performance falls short, the customer is dissatisfied. If it gets to our expectations, if it achieves them, then we are. I'll start that again. If it achieves our expectations, we are satisfied. If it exceeds our expectations, the customer is highly satisfied or delighted. So the customer's assessment of a product performance depends on whether they get a particular level of satisfaction. And this, therefore, the type of loyalty relationship the customer has with the brand. So obviously, customers, they favor perceptions of product with a brand that they already feel positive about based on particular experiences. Now, where do they get their expectations from? Well, how do they get their expectations? They result from past buying experience, friends and associates' advice. If they're too high, the buyer is likely to be disappointed. If it sets expectations too low, it won't attract enough buyers. So some of the most successful companies are raising expectations, but then they have to deliver a performance to match. So for example, here we have the Korean automaker Kia. They found a lot of success, although they had a bad perception previously that by launching our low-cost, high-quality cars with enough reliability to offer a 7-year or 100,000-kilometer warranty. And that helped people raise their expectations sufficiently for more people to buy those particular products. So this is the marketer's actual elements that they have had to put in order to raise people's expectations. Right, how do we monitor satisfaction? Well, the influence of customer satisfaction, the measuring techniques, and obviously customer complaints. We're going to be looking at those. Many customers are systematically measuring how well they treat customers, identifying the factors shaping satisfaction, changing operations and marketing as a result. So wise firms measure customer satisfaction regularly. Why? Because it's one of the keys to customer retention. A highly satisfied customer generally stays loyal longer, buys more as the company introduces new and upgraded products, talks favorably to others about the company and its products, pays less attention to competing brands, and is less sensitive to price, offers products or service leads to other companies. And it costs less to serve than a new customer because transactions can now, with that existing customer, can now become routine. And also greater customer satisfaction is also linked to higher returns and lower risk in the stock market. So how do we measure this level of satisfaction? What do we do? What techniques can we use to measure this? Well, one of them is the customer loss rate. We need to monitor the customer's performance as well. So they can monitor their customer's loss rate and contact those maybe who have stopped buying or switched to another supplier and find out why. Now, managers themselves can also enter the company in a competitor sales situation where they're unknown and experience firsthand the treatment they receive, or they can phone their own company with questions and complaints to see how employees handle the calls. And obviously we do surveys between our own customers and see what they feel about it. So there's many different options and ways that we can go and to find out how we are perceived by our customers. What is the influence of customer satisfaction? Well, some customers even go as far as setting up their own websites to air their grievances and galvanize protest and target high-profile brands such as United Airlines, Home Depot, and Mercedes-Benz. Customer complaints. If we have 25% of people who are dissatisfied, as an example, 5% of those will complain, but the other 90% will just stop buying. The problem is those that stop buying are more likely to tell more people, and on average they will tell 11 people. So they're dissatisfied, they stop buying, and they tell 11 people. Now, of those that are still dissatisfied but complain, now we have a response where the company can do something about it. Now, 54 to 70% of those will still buy again from the same company where they've complained from if the problem is resolved. And it goes up as far as 95% if the problem or the complaint is resolved quickly. And those that are left, they will tell 5 people. Now, even those that tell 5 people that they've had a complaint, they will also say that it was resolved quickly and it can still act as something beneficial to the company, which shows the value of not only having the complaints, but actually dealing with them. The more complaints, the better, because if you can resolve those quickly, you are doing something good and you are retaining those customers. Products and service quality. We have to monitor performance because the problem is how quality is determined, and conformance. Now, just as an example to understand the two, a Lexus provides higher performance quality than a Hyundai. In other words, it does better things. It provides a smoother ride, goes faster, lasts longer. But they both deliver the same conformance quality if all the units deliver their respective promised quality. In other words, a cheaper brand will have a lower level of expectation from the consumer. If it achieves that level and maybe even goes beyond it, then it still has quality. So it's nothing to do with saying that Mercedes has more quality than Hyundai. They both have quality. But obviously, if we're spending 60 or 80,000 euros on a car, our expectations clearly are much higher. And if it does not achieve those, then it is perceived to not have quality. If we buy a cheaper vehicle for 8,000 euros, we don't have high expectations. If the product that we get surpasses those expectations, we consider we have a quality product, based obviously on the price difference of the two. So how do we maximize lifetime value? Well, we've all heard of the 20-80 rule. 20% of the customers provide 80% of the profits. Now, some cases more extreme, the most profitable 20% of customers on a per capita basis may contribute as much as 150 to 300% of profits. In other words, the other 10% on the other hand can actually be costing the company money. Now, the implication is that a company could actually improve its profits by effectively firing the customers. In other words, if we have bad customers that aren't contributing to the profits of the company. Certainly an interesting point to consider. Customer profitability, how do we work it out? What do we decide is either a profitable or unprofitable customer? A good customer or a bad customer? Just to give a basic outline of how this works, because most people get quite confused that we can either have good or bad customers, good or no, profitable, unprofitable customers. If you consider that if there's a particular promotion going on in a supermarket, that they're selling something basic that we all need, and it's milk at 50 cents a litre. If I'm typically, for somebody like me, I'm probably a bad customer, certainly an unprofitable customer. I will go into the supermarket, buy that particular product, 50 cents, and then leave. This is considered an unprofitable customer. They have done that particular promotion, not with somebody like me, that's going to go in to buy the promotion that they're offering. They've done it for somebody else who was going to go in, probably somebody more like my wife, who would go in, buy the milk, or maybe may even forget to buy the milk in the first place, but would then seek other products and would finish up spending much more money in the particular store on things where they are making significantly more profits. So it's quite easy where we're going for we're only going in there for the particular discount. Where they make the profitable money, the profitable customers are those that buy other things over and above beyond the promotions that they're offering at the time. And obviously we have the customer lifetime value. Once you have got a customer, ideally you want that customer to come back. And supermarkets are obviously, it's very important for them. They want regular customers coming back week after week after week for a lifetime, where somebody is always using a particular supermarket for their entire lifetime, and they're spending 80, 100 euros a week in their supermarket, 5,000, 6,000 euros a year for 20, 30 years. That's the lifetime value. So the customer profitability analysis, CPA, is best conducted with the tools of an accounting technique called activity-based costing. Now, this tries to identify the real costs associated with serving each customer, the cost of products and services based on the resources that they consume. The company estimates all revenue coming from the customer less all costs. With ABC, the cost should include the cost of not only making and distributing the products and service, but also taking phone calls from the customer, traveling to visit the customer, paying for entertainment and gifts, all the company's resources that go into serving that customer. It also allocates indirect costs like clerical costs, office expenses, supplies, and so on, to the activities that use them, rather than in some proportion to direct costs. Both variable and overhead costs are tagged back to each customer, what particular percentages they're using. Measuring this, the case for maximizing long-term cost of profitability is capturing the concept of customer lifetime value. So it's the net present value of the stream of the future profits expected over the customer's lifetime purchases. So they must subtract the estimated revenues, the expected costs of attracting, selling, servicing the account of that customer. I'm sorry about that. Unprofessional telephone call in the middle of the recording. As we were saying, the lifetime value. So it's subtract from the expected revenues the cost of attracting, selling, and servicing the account of the customer. So lifetime value calculated of all the products and services they have purchased over the whole lifetime can literally add up to tens of thousands of dollars or even more over a 20 or 30 year period. A profitable customer, person, household, or company that over time yields a revenue stream exceeded by an acceptable amount the company's cost stream for attracting, selling, and servicing that customer. So if it costs you 1,000 to get a customer, you want several thousand to come back from them. Now, if we use customer product profitability analysis, well, we've got it may look complicated, but it isn't really. We've got different products. We've got P1, 2, 3, 4, but you could put those for any kind of products. It could be cell phones, televisions, it could be clothing, it could be food, it could be anything. And then the different customers. So we have high profit customers, mixed bag customers, and losing customers. Now, what would happen is that a highly profitable product with a highly profitable customer would fit in a particular box. In other words, products that give us the large amount of profit, which is P1 in this case, mixed with a high profit customer. So obviously this gives us a plus in that particular box, all the way down to maybe where we have an unprofitable product here at P3, and that would then give us a losing customer because it's customer number 3 who isn't buying them very often. Then we're losing money on those. So we can see here that we have customers who are actually costing us money because they're not buying the profitable products. So as we were mentioning in the case of the supermarket, this is somebody like me going in just buying the milk, and somebody over the other side would be more like my wife, spending 50 euros on other products that she probably hadn't planned on getting, and they would be more profitable to the company. Now, cultivating customer relationships, what are we after doing? Customer information, differentiate, customize, personalize, and share. So companies are using information about customers to enact precision marketing designed to build strong long-term relationships. So information is easy to differentiate, customize, personalize, and dispatch over the network at incredible speed. But information cuts both ways. For example, customers now have a quick and easy means of doing comparison shopping through such sites as BizRate, Shopping.com, and PriceGrabber, etc. The internet also facilitates communication between customers. So websites like eOpinions and Yelp enable customers to share information about their experience with products and services. So customer empowerment has become a way of life for many, and that they're able to shift. There's been a big shift in the power towards customers in this particular relationship. So customer relationship management is the process of carefully managing detailed information about individual customers and all customers' touch points to maximize loyalty. A customer touch point is any occasion on which a customer encounters the brand or product, from actual experience to personal or mass communications to casual observations. So for a hotel, the touch points include reservation, check-in and check-outs, frequent stay, but also everything else that they would do, whether in the bar, the restaurant, etc., every time that they touch some point of they interact with the product or the service. Personalized marketing. Personalized marketing about making sure that the brand and its marketing are as relevant as possible to as many customers as possible. Quite a challenge, considering that obviously no two types of customer are identical. So as we can see here, many different types of consumer. So it's very difficult to do an individual system of marketing to different kinds of people, because obviously each one of us has different requirements and different expectations of each product. Now, one-to-one marketing, where we identify products, specifically what they're after, we differentiate them, and then we interact with each one. So Don Peffer and Martha Rogers outlined a 4-step framework for this, step one marketing. And this can be adapted to CRM marketing as follows. So the first one, identify your products and customers. Don't go after everyone, the 7.5 billion people on the planet. Build, maintain, and mine a rich customer database with information from all the channels and customer touch points. Differentiate customers in terms of their needs and their value to your company. So remember those high value customers. Spend proportionally more effort on the most valuable customers. Apply activity-based costing and calculate customer lifetime value, as we've already shown how to do, and estimate the net present value of all future profits from purchases, margin levels and referrals, less customer-specific servicing cost. Interact with individual customers to improve knowledge about their needs and build stronger relationships with them. Formulas to offer, to raise offerings that you can communicate in a personalized way, and then customize product, services, and messages to each customer and each customer interaction through the company contact center. Customer empowerment. Well, we're trying to build brand evangelists, and when we're talking about brands, we're not obviously talking about the major brands. We're talking about our particular brands. So marketers are trying to help consumers become evangelists for brands by providing them with the resources and opportunities to demonstrate their passion about our particular products. If we can get them talking about our products and services, the better. Because obviously any kind of advertising, promotion, marketing that we do, it's obviously considered biased by the consumer. And to some extent, as we have already said, 50% of advertising doesn't work because they don't tend to believe the advertisers. If we can get our own customers talking about this, they will believe them. So we want greater involvement within from the customers. More user-generated content. So Doritos, for example, little crisps, Doritos held a contest to let consumers name their next flavor. Converse asked amateur filmmakers to submit a 30-second short film that demonstrated their inspiration from the sneakers brand. The best of the 1,800 submissions were showcased in the Converse Gallery website, and the best of the best became a TV commercial. Sales of shoes via the website doubled in the month after the gallery's launch because of their particular involvement using the customer. And of course, getting the consumer involved in our company is the best way to actually start going a long way towards creating this loyalty. They start to become more involved and feel more part of our particular brand, and we develop loyalty then towards our. Right, customer review and recommendations. Well, we're all aware of the sites where we get ratings, and in some cases, especially say with companies like Amazon, where they have the customer ratings, they have done it perfectly, so much so that this is a major part of why particular customers will buy from a particular buyer, purely based on the customer rating. And then checking out negative reviews. But obviously, good ratings can create a buzz about a particular product or service, and people will start creating their own blogs. We've already mentioned particular sites or groups of consumers will set up their own blogs or sites to discuss particular companies' products and services. So attracting and retaining customers. How do we do that? Well, obviously we have to reduce our defections. We have to lose our losses, reduce them. So we have to stop people from leaving. So we need to define and measure how many we're losing. So we actually know the amount that are being lost. Then we have to determine the cause. We have to realize why they are actually losing, why we're losing those as customers. And as we can see here, it's a little bit like the bucket with the hole in, that however much we top it up, if the bucket keeps running out, so we continuously need to top up our customers. And we compare the customer lifetime value to the costs involved, because what do we want? We want profitable customers. So we need to manage our customer base. We need to keep in touch with them. We need to make sure that they stay with us. We don't want them forgetting about us. We want them to stay with us and retain our customers. Keep them with us and keep them loyal to us. Now, we have what we call the marketing funnel. We mentioned earlier about the general target, the different markets that we have. So we have the target market. Remember, we'd started out the potential market, and we got all the way down to the target market. The target market being those that we are going for, with those that we are marketing to, those that we are targeting. Now of that, some of those will be aware, we have created awareness of the brand. So the first part is that. So they can, at least will be able to say, I have heard of the brand. We have created within our target market an awareness. Then they go to the next step. They are open to a trial. So they're open to trying the brand, but may not have done so, but they're willing to do so. The next level then, from there, the triers, the non-rejectors, where they can say, I have tried the brand and I would use it again, but maybe I haven't done so in the past 3 months. Next level, the recent, 1 to 3 months. So they've used the brand in the past 3 months, but they're not a regular user yet. Further down the line, we get to the regular user. So they are regular users, but maybe not is the most often brand that they used. Then we get to those that it's most often. This is the brand that I use most often, even though there are other brands out there. And then the loyalty. I always use this brand, right? As long as it's suitable for me. Not necessarily that there's other brands out there that do a similar or better job. They are now loyalty. So we can see that the goal of this from our target market is getting that, which obviously is going to be a larger number, and getting it down to loyal customers, because the loyal customers are ones that are going to stay with us. There's no reason why we can't increase the target market and go for different markets or target different areas. But we want to get the people funneled down to become eventually loyal customers of ours, so they will always come back to us and we can maintain them and will maintain a higher level of profitability for us. So building loyalty, how do we do that? Well, it does require us to interact with the customers. It requires us to keep in touch with them, to create certain ties so that there's a link between them and us all the time, whether that be done through loyalty cards, where it's literally their name on our card. And using these kind of programs, they then develop a preference for using us because of this, and are less likely to be influenced by any kind of distractions or other promotions by other companies, which are our competitors. So we have our customer databases where we have information maybe of things like names, address, telephone numbers, purchase history, demographics, psychographics, media graphics. So demographics, the kind of people that they are, psychographics, their lifestyle, what they're about, and the media graphics, what kind of media are they using. So obviously there's a vast amount of information here that we have, and we need to use this, we need to mine this and keep this information, this warehousing. We have this information and we have to use this. This is where we are going to find our best customers. And that is all for this particular module, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you very much.